Hello folks, it's Gab Dad again.
Hello.
Hello, Gab Dad. Here to review Avatar, the big blockbuster movie of the year, the decade, the century, costs more than any other film. What's it about, Gab? And keep it short.
Thanks, Dad. Well, Avatar is a small, independent film you probably never heard of.
Yeah, released in a few art houses in the major cities.
Yeah, it'll probably just come and go.
Yeah.
So
Probably on DVD already. You can only get a DVD.
They're selling it on the street. You know what it's about. There's a company that wants a resource that's on this alien world, planet. Pandora. They want this very valuable resource.
Called unobtainium. I wonder where
clever.
They got that name from.
So that's not really the point. I mean, the corporation represents, evil corporate humanity. They bring in the military and as also scientists to help them get this indigenous alien species that lives on top of what they want.
Called the Navi.
Called the Navi.
Yeah, that's what they look
10
like.
10-foot tall blue creatures, very humanistic but alien. And so the corporation needs them out of the way.
They have tails. Don't forget the tails. Can we see it here?
Well,
No.
so don't you? So don't
No.
I. So they want them out of the way, and so there's the military who wants to go in guns a-blazing, of course, and the scientists who are a bit more humane, they want to study and learn about this culture from the inside. And the way they do that is with avatars. They sort of grow their own, they mix their DNA with alien DNA. They don't really get into that too detailed, which is fine. They create their own versions that they can link into through various technology, which again they don't really get into, which is fine. They lie down, they go to sleep, they link in, and then they live through their avatars.
Some of you may have seen the film Surrogates, and indeed our review of Surrogates, when we mentioned, which is an Avatar sort of high-end surrogates, but both films employ the tanning bed. These people creep into a tanning bed.
Well, this is a gel, more of a gel bed.
But they kind of get into this tanning bed thing to initiate the surrogate.
Yeah, they lie down.
Yeah.
I would too.
Well, they
why,
didn't lie down. They shut
why
the
stand
thing
up?
in.
Yeah, and so they plug in, and then they're living. Their consciousness is then going through this body, which is a physical body. The main character, the main Marine, Sam Worthington, is a paraplegic, but when he gets to plug into his avatar, he has his legs back. It's a rebirth for him. And that physical rebirth, it also leads to sort of an emotional awakening where he starts to really connect with this species that he gets involved with and sort of becomes on their side. And then it becomes defending their territory against the humans.
Okay. Can I say something?
That's the basic summary. The end.
Go
ahead.
The first thing I want to say about this film is that it is visually very beautiful. James Cameron, the director, producer, scriptwriter, he's, best
King of the world.
King of the world. James Cameron has imagined and created this extraordinary world, the world of Pandora, with spectacular flora and fauna, these 10-foot high blue people with tails running around.
So detailed, everything.
Very detailed. It's really
Beautiful.
very beautiful to watch. And there's for example, at one point, or actually not just at one point, throughout the film, there are these flying dinosaur-like birds, but huge birds, that are just extraordinary to watch in flight. And the film is worth seeing just for that. So this is a big positive.
It actually made me think of that film Earth. Remember we saw the documentary, which is about the actual Earth. And it was supposed to take your breath away and stunning. And I actually, watching this world, felt more intrigued and moved and dazzled than I did watching this film about our own actual Earth.
I would advise you to go and see this film just for that.
Yeah.
But having said this, can I continue?
Please.
Thank you.
Especially if it's negative.
Having said this, there are 2 or 3 things that I really didn't like about this film that I think take away any claim it might have had to be the best film of 2009 or whatever. First of all, it is very heavy-handed politically. Without going into a whole song and dance, it's about the clash, it's about the desire of humans who are ruthless, crude, and insensitive to do whatever is necessary to obtain this mineral, including wiping out a beautiful, pristine, peaceful, ecologically sensitive spiritual place. They don't care about any of that, they just want this mineral. And it's very heavy-handed in the kind of the political message that it conveys in that respect. That's the first thing.
Corporate message and a war message.
And a war message. And there's lots of references to, thinly veiled references to Iraq and all the rest of it. Secondly, the plot is really very derivative and unimaginative. It's cowboys and Indians. It's good guys and bad guys. And we've seen it before. It's a basic theme, of course, in all literature, movies, and everything else. So we shouldn't be surprised.
It's a basic human theme.
Yeah, but there's nothing new brought to it in this film.
Not in terms of storytelling.
It's in terms of storytelling. And the third thing I would say is the dialogue is uninspired and really weird in some places.
It's clunky. There was some snickering in the audience a little bit.
Yeah, there's weird vernacular stuff. And the acting is passable, but no more than that. So it gets a B or a B minus. Just a minute. It gets a B or a B minus or maybe even a C plus in most categories except the first one, which is the visual beauty of it, which is stunning.
Can I speak now?
You may.
I can't even keep track of everything you said. Visually, yes, everybody knows that. Story-wise, I agree. It was an unoriginal story, and it was a bit disappointing because it was such a basic unoriginal story. It didn't quite do justice to the package, which is so spectacular. I was looking for a little bit more of the story oomph. But it was basic, and it is a basic story through history and through cinema. And it made me think of Dances with Wolves and Last of the Mohicans and all those sorts of more historical, obviously human stories, but without the layering. The layering wasn't quite there. But the characters, I think, were very well defined, and that speaks also to technology. The motion capture that's been achieved here far surpasses any motion capture you've seen before. They finally got over the dead eye syndrome, as it was called, and I really felt that these were flesh characters, the alien characters.
Yeah, they were very believable.
As played by the actors.
You cared about
them. And you do care. They express
them.
Emotions that you feel. They move and act in very believable ways, and that's very important. And that speaks also to the technology and the acting. I think the acting was solid. Sam Worthington, nothing special. The female, his love interest, I was very moved by her and very charmed by that character. And Sigourney Weaver, who is both a human and alien form, was very good too. So that speaks to the acting. You're going to interrupt me?
Well, we're running out of time, but I want to ask you a question. And that is, you say you cared about these 10-foot-high blue people with tails, and so did I. But I want to ask you this. Did you care about them as much as you cared about the shrimp people in District 9?
I haven't forgotten my beloved shrimp people. I think that's a conversation
much more crudely rendered without the effect.
Well, that technology was good too, those effects. But
that
we'll
was
talk
$40
about
million
that.
films compared to 200.
It's interesting. We'll talk about that, I think, maybe in our year-end best videos. Watch for that.
All right, so my summary of this film is you should go and see it. See it for the beautiful visual effects, but don't expect too much more than that.
Definitely, the technology, the visual effects that have been achieved here are all that they claimed to have been, and it is the future, and it's wonderful to see. You'll be pulled into this world. And I have to give this story credit as well for being immersed in this world. The story was good enough for me that it carried me along, and so I would recommend it in pretty much any category, but obviously mostly in the visual category.
All right, and the only other thing to say is we will shortly be doing our best and worst films.
I already said that, yeah.
Did you say that? Okay. Well,
he never listens to me.
She already said it. So watch for that.